All right, welcome back. It's Breakfast Daily. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring you the sports today, but we'll give you updates tomorrow. Now, we're going to go into our community, segment, and the conversations there always very important, always very interesting. We always say that Ghana is not Accra, Accra is not Ghana, and that the fact that things are working nicely where we are in the capital city of Accra doesn't mean that everywhere things are working as well. And even in Accra, we have our own challenges, But there are places that, challenges are measured in levels, right? And so we're going to go over to Jirapa. Farmers in Jirapa are lamenting over the drying up of a dam that they are using. Now, we have a report for you. Let's take a look at this report. These dams are meant to ideally, be sort of like an intervention for farmers, for households, for, villages in the neighboring areas and so on. And so if the farmers are complaining, imagine what's happening to others who live around as well. Let's take a look at this report. We'll come back and we'll get into the conversations.
More than 500 farmers, mostly the youth from Tampui, Duri, Tamparziene, and Dago within the Konzokala electoral area of the Jirapa municipality, depend on the Chaareh Dam for their dry season farming. The farmers cultivate crops such as tomatoes, onions, garden eggs, and other varieties of vegetables in large quantities, which serve as their major source of income. The dam also serves as a major source of water to the livestock in the communities and for domestic purposes. Beyond its agricultural impact, the Chaareh Dam has over the years contributed significantly to a reduction in youth migration from the Konzokala electoral area to other parts of the country in search of menial jobs. Some of these farmers tell Citi News they make between 6,000 and 10,000 Ghana cedis from their gardens during the dry season, which spans from November to March. In spite of its significance, the Chaareh Dam has completely dried up, leaving the farmers stranded.
This is the Chaareh Dam here in the Jirapa municipality of the Upper West region. This dam engaged more than 1,000 inhabitants of the Tamparziene community here in the municipality. However, as you can see, the dam has dried up, leaving the inhabitants to their fate. We are told that more than 1,000 youth in this area have migrated to Kumasi and other parts of the country to engage in menial jobs, particularly in Galamsey.
Amato ka abundiri wataka ama teka kuomba de cerca katedi nyeru to government tingwere pelsen hakuru a charni a ate dampu ngayele nyaka banita na tuwa awason ka kuom bebe ana fiele na ya akote
akuona bechebe na te tae doga bonso atene mi banjara ko njure te don me banjara ko so ata wahala akote a de ga dinunti na ina ata somo kote yaga ata som lobo ata som a charane ate bibli school gabo yele aya be puori ka ziyarment manye ziyara adi ale ya be min puori ka te mala de akpeninda atun akwara nye librifi a charane a siem yiltare ka ti mota bundira a di pome te mala dira sa libira ala kweda ala chanla da bundir
a kuwana da mabebe ti tamama gare jon tuma iya gadin tuma lakan tuna tuma iya gadin correct so kapan pana yu kontata tin tama en ti tama nje bon ka ji yu mo mina la tatama en tuma manje bonza a wala ka de kelasa twal so gasur ma twal ga galese te kera ate kele bala kuma fina na mambe karmen jela inna pampana akuma bara mo karma gba la po ala karmen kele an wata mo karmen yo luan te chamen so karpam ngire pel kura a gwabinate ane nimi maru deme ko hana wanje tinne balo ko wasonte so kar titamala gara aswere so ka gadi tema iya gadi temanje bona temanje ama bon sonte karamangbar ye dar motor atuna suna a tinga hamitore.
This 35-year-old pregnant mother of three tells Citi News her husband had run away from the village to the southern part of the country to do illegal mining so that they can get money to pay back a facility he took to invest in this garden.
Komi wasinka wa ana wa wana ka akunmi abin sotie abele chibi kana lamira komi ka tomba karpor akor agati da sema wajibi karaton ka anti scooby ampana ye min gaay gelinse akwana nyora la wele chibi o gaay gelinse chembe ampana mi mama mi ye popo so inkolabo nye libiri agati gani doctor be agati la ton a scooby ko ga school.
The assemblyman for the Konzokala electoral area says majority of the youth in the area have moved to down south in search for menial jobs because they no longer have any source of livelihood due to the state of the dam.
They have cultivated over 5-acre land of vegetables here, expecting that the water will stay, but unfortunately that is not so. It has dried up very early this year, and all the crops are now left to the mercy of the sun. In fact, it's a pity. If you look at what is happening now, most of the young guys who were owners of these gardens have abandoned the thing to run to south to look for galamsey and other activities to do. Some have left over their pregnant wives and they are at least struggling, and we don't know how to handle that because they used to make a lot of money out of this. The previous years, many people have built houses, bought motorbikes and other things from this place as a result. But for now, this year, unfortunately, the dam has dried up so early. My appeal to government is that at least let us see how we can help other non-governmental organizations that come to our aid. Please, this dam has contributed a lot to the livelihood of our people here. These people are already into the job and they are doing it. They have demonstrated that they are ready to do the work. So if we invest into this, it will yield result. Government should come to our aid to desal this dam so that at least we can have water throughout the year. So these farmers will come back to business, and then it will reduce our problems within this area.
The Jirapa Municipal Director of Agriculture expressed fears that the unemployment situation in the area will worsen if the dam is not rehabilitated.
When I came, I first of all came to the dam. And when I saw the potentials, the human beings, the youth, the way they are interested to do the work here. In fact, it was one of the first dams I actually visited, the Chaareh dam, because I realized that these youth, we are preventing them not to moving to the south for different work or galam. Some people are going for galamsey and all those things. And before you can prevent them, you have to get something for them doing here. So I am actually appealing to the authority, those who can help us to make sure this dam is distilled, so that at least the youth, the aged, those who cannot move anywhere can get something doing.
All right, so that's a report brought to us by our colleague Latif Mahama. And the Chaareh Dam, you know, served a lot of people, a lot of communities, and made sure that so many different, especially younger people, had things that they could do, livelihood, you know, taking care of the cattle and so on and so forth. It's a challenge. Let's talk to the assemblyman for the Jirapa Konzokala electoral area, Honorable Salia Stephen Dafa. Good morning, sir. Honorable.
Hello.
Hello, Honorable. Good morning.
I am Honorable. I am the Municipal Director of Agri.
Oh, this is Joseph Kambunaba?
Yes.
Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Good. All right. So give us a sense of the difficulty that you witnessed, you know, arriving there, seeing the dam. What's the challenge with the dam and the difficulty in terms of ripple effect?
Yeah, Chaareh For the first place, it's a community of 95% of them are farmers. And I know very well Upper West being one of the only one rainy season. The dry season is always a season where the youth, the aged, needs to get something doing.
Yeah.
And because of this, they all have to go into the dam to do dry season farming. And the dam, because one, there's so much pressure on the dam.
Yeah.
A number of people going inside there to do the dry season farming. And two, because the climate change, you know, Upper West, the weather is so hot, and if the dam is not distilled,
Yeah.
it can easily dry up. Imagine this about March, just March,
Yes.
and the whole thing is dried up.
Yeah.
So we are now in difficulties because we cannot stop our youth from going into the south
to seek
because
better
they would like to go
opportunities.
into places like Galamsey activities. And for preventing them, we fill this dam. This dam is distilled.
Yeah.
We can stop them from going.
Yeah.
The youth who do the work there, the aged, and all those people who have something doing, do the dry season.
Yeah.
And the long end, income of farmers and the people around the place will be increased.
Yeah.
That is our problem.
Let me ask you something. So a number of the dams, especially in the Upper West, I mean, I've seen some in the Upper West, and I've seen a few also in the Upper East. But some of these dams were built under the livelihood, the labor-intensive public works project. And I would imagine this was one of those that was built under that labor-intensive public works. Now, what I'm curious about is these dams were actually built by hand and by a lot of labor. I'm just wondering if some kind of intervention cannot be done by maybe the district assembly to say, listen, there's a small pot of money here. Let's get 100 young men to desilt, right? And for every day's labor, you get maybe your 10 CDs or 15 CDs or something. Is it not possible to do that intervention now so that when the rains come in a couple of months, the dam will actually be able to now soak up a lot more water as opposed to sitting and waiting for some other kind of large intervention from somewhere? Because I do understand the genesis of a lot of these dams and how they were built. And I've actually photographed quite a number of them.
Chaareh Dam has a special issue. No, Upper Assembly are talking, I don't dispute that because we have also talked to them.
Okay.
I've also met the DC, the past, and the current one requesting for support or how they can work on the dam. I've done that already.
Okay.
But I know that families, they have their own problems, so I can't talk for them.
Exactly.
Yes. But the Chaareh Dam is so deep that with human labor, without a machine, with human, it's very difficult.
Okay.
Where it has reached, we actually need support.
Okay.
From somewhere else to support us. Because if we want to use human labor, it has gotten to a point that human labor cannot do it again.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I see. So when you say support, what are the options available? What are we looking at? Do we need, some financial intervention from, let's say, regional capital? Do we want rent machines from Kumasi, from Accra? I'm not sure. What's the general thinking when we're looking at an intervention and support? What are we looking for?
we have just opened our hands for any organization, if it is being assembly, the national level, or anywhere that can come to our aid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes, it needs funding.
Okay.
Right.
So
it needs people to help. Yes.
Okay. So if, let's say, for example, and I'm not trying to call on anybody particularly, but if, let's say, for example, some of the dredging companies that have been known to dredge in, rivers in Accra and other places, were to say, send you one machine with an operator to come and work for 2 days to clear all the silt from the dam, would that be a good intervention for you?
Yes. That would be good. That would be good, and we still have to. I think that one, something like that, must should pass through the assembly, so that because when they come, maybe they also need some support from here.
Right.
Okay.
We the agri department may not be able to help.
Yeah, no. So I mean, what I'm more thinking about is somebody watching the program says, okay, you know what? Who do we get in touch with? Maybe district assembly. Okay, so Jirapa will get in touch with them, and then we're going to send everything. And what do you need? We need X, Y, Z. Maybe we'll talk to the district assembly itself and see what it is that they actually need, because people watch this show. And a lot of the times when challenges are put out on the show, people actually get resolution because there are people that are watching that are interested and say, look, we can step in, we can help, this is what we're going to bring, and we're going to come and support you. And that's actually why I'm asking these questions, because I think if you lay out what the possible solutions are, then somebody can take it up and say, listen, we'll do it. We like the idea, we'll come up and we'll help you.
Anything at all that we're able to distill this our dam is welcome.
Okay.
It's welcome because the assemblyman for the area happens to be one of the senior men in the assembly there. So if it is such support is coming either through the assembly or through the assemblyman, I'm also here. Just waiting. Yes, so it can come through any means.
Okay, so generally speaking, let's talk about agric in Jirapa. Generally speaking, what's the situation like? I mean, this is one challenge because you don't have access to water and all of that in the Chaareh Dam. Do you have other challenges as well in your jurisdiction?
The challenges I may start mentioning maybe the cost of inputs, for the past years, so Planter for Food and Jobs is out here, and the subsidy started very nicely. It was some high subsidy and keep on increasing.
Okay.
So you could see that last year farmers were buying fertilizers 400 per bag, the 50 kilos bag, I'm saying.
So is that expensive or not so expensive?
Very expensive.
It's very expensive, okay.
Very expensive. And the tractor costs lots to plow. So we have calculated and realized that the cost of production for just 1 acre is rising to about now it's getting to 3,000. Just to produce, to farm 1 acre. I will put it that way. Yes, so it is one of the points that made people reduce their acreages. The number of acres they were weeding, they were farming, they may have to reduce it.
Yeah.
Yes, so but the Planter for Food and Jobs is doing a marvelous job. And we're hoping that this year there will be more improvement and we'll be able to go back and do so much.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Joseph, I just wanted to ask, is this the first time such is happening to the dam?
It's like when it starts drying, like this year, April, February, the dam was dry. Next year, if we don't do something about it, maybe around December, going to January, it will dry up again.
Yeah.
The situation keep on worsening.
Yeah.
Because of the climate change.
Right.
The weather is dry, the rain stops very early, and it's a problem that continues.
Right.
Yes.
Your rainy season, is it still 4 months, one long 4 months rainy season? What's the situation like with your typical cycles of rain now?
Yes, we like ASAP. The south you people are enjoying, we are still dry here.
Yeah.
We're expecting rains around April ending.
Yeah.
And when it starts April ending, we can't plant immediately. We have to still wait and plant around June ending.
Yeah.
And when it starts by October,
the rains
people are not lucky.
Yeah.
We don't have rains again. And the Hamatan will set in
until next year, April.
Until next year, April.
Wow. Yeah.
So I will rely on these dams, and that is why the government is doing so well. The previous, there have been dams in most of the communities, and the dry season we can get something doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Kambunaba, thank you so much for speaking
Joseph.
to us. Yes. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll be speaking with Mr. Joseph Kambunaba, who is the Municipal Director of Agric in Jirapa. Now, Chris, you see, the thing about, I actually know quite a number of the places in the Upper West because I did some projects, photographing, drone footage and all of that. And there was one part of the project that I was working on that was actually photographing dams, And a lot of these dams, like he rightly confirmed, were built with labor, as in human labor.
Human labor.
So there was an intervention called, the social poverty alleviation social interventions. One of them is called labor intensive public works. So what they do typically is to say, let's go to a community. So what do you need? We need a road. Okay. Or we need a dam, right? That's our biggest problem. We need this or we need that. So when we identify what the problem is, then there's a funding scheme that says that instead of us dashing you money, rather, let's do a project. We will build a road connecting you from your village to another town or another village, right? So now the road didn't exist. Now, after the project, the road exists. But you get to make money on a daily basis. So as you work by day, you are making money, but you are building
the project that you need.
That you need.
Yeah, you need it, so you have to build it.
By the time the project is over, you have also been a little enriched, but you also have a beautiful project in place. Do you get it? That's how a lot of these dams were built. Now, the problem is that the dams don't have like how do you call it? It's not concrete floor or anything like that. You see, it's earth, right? So over time, as water comes in, dries out, comes in, dries out.
Yeah, because I was going to ask.
The layers of silt sit. Do you see? And it impacts. So right now, instead of being able to hold, let's say, 100 million gallons, now you can hold only 50 million gallons.
Right, because there's
silt.
Yeah.
So now they have to crack the surface. And that's what he was saying, that to bring labor in at this point,
it's
would be a
going
lot
to be
more
problematic.
because it's more challenging, And so the assemblyman, Mr. Salia Stephen Dafar, has joined us on the line. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you so much.
All right. So give us a little understanding of when was this dam actually built?
Thank you so much. You see, the Chaareh Dam was built over 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was not even born.
Oh, wow.
That was where our mothers used to fetch drinking water for the communities around Duri, Dogo, the Kozokala, and its surroundings. That was where that was our source of drinking water until the boreholes came around. And then some communities have boreholes right now.
So the situation now that is there, what are some of the solutions that you're looking at, to get the dam desilted?
At least if we can get or engage the service of a dredge or an excavator for just 2 days, I think the problem will be solved. Because looking at it, it has really did the level of work, like you were mentioning, for human labor for now, it will be difficult.
Yeah.
But if we get a service of an excavator for just 2 days, at least we can get results. And then I think they will be able to clear all the muddy sand that has settled there, and then at least the water can stay for a good number of months for the farmers to be able to make use of.
So without let's say without the machinery, you are basically stuck, isn't it?
Because looking at it now, if we want to do labor intensive, the amount of work that is supposed to be done there, when we try drilling or digging down to see whether we could get water after it has dried up, we realize that the deposit has gone as more than at least close to 1 feet down.
Right.
And that is heavy work with labor intensive.
How many feet?
1 feet down.
Wow.
Right.
That's 1 feet. The silt is 1 foot thick.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay.
Okay, sir, we actually know the problem right now, but what measures have you taken to address the situation?
We, at the assembly level, we have agreed that if there's no money anywhere, we will, it's our first priority, but the problem still remains lack of money in the assembly level. Like we all know, the common fund is not common anymore. And, you know, I've been following up on the assembly, but it's not yielding results. So I decided that, we have a good, you know, the interesting part of it is that the community, that the beneficiary community happen to be where the SD Dombo comes from, Duri.
Oh, okay.
And then when I talk to some philanthropists, they'll say about why they're doing it. Their party is in power. Why are they not doing it? And then you are worrying us, you know.
Yeah.
But that's politics anyway, you know. But it's part of it. You know, some people are there who can help, but when you will talk to them, this is suppose at least there's one village, one dam. Why are they not considering Chaareh Dam? This has been the popular dam. This has been a popular dam in the whole of the Jirapa municipality for over years, and it's dried up. Government cannot come in, so but you know. We want to cry out there, not only government, we have other philanthropies that may at least attract our sympathy and want to come to our aid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just like I'm saying, you can engage the service of an excavator for just 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, that headache will be over.
Yeah. All right. Honorable, we are grateful for your time. I believe that people are watching, and an intervention like this is not too big a deal for some people to just intervene and say, we're sending you an excavator for 2 or 3 days, you know, to do the job. Even if it's coming from Accra or Kumasi or wherever, we're sending you an excavator to go plus an operator to go and handle that for a couple of days. So we definitely want to appeal to whoever can intervene and help in make this dam, properly operable again. You know, like he said, you know, this is something that has existed for many years, right? Now, it's an earth dam. An earth dam will have, it's very
this
natural.
kind of problems.
This kind of problem will come over the years. And I'm sure that if they desilt it now, he said it's 1 foot thick. That's the silt that they have to clear. So you can imagine.
Human beings can't do that.
You know, I mean, they could, but it would take forever.
Yeah.
Juicy to do.
And it's going to take a lot of work.
Maybe too much work that is not even worth it. Meanwhile, an excavator will come and do this thing in 2 days. It will be done. Juicy. So I think that we want to call on all well-meaning people who have the capacity to do this, to look at Jirapa, look at this Chaareh Dam, and then I want to ask the question: what happened to all the other dams that were supposed to be built? You know, all
one district.
Yeah, one village, one dam.
One dam.
I think it was supposed to be like 1,500 dams or something around, you know. And anyway, so that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. There's some more community-focused stories coming.